Hey guys, welcome to today's video on understanding the layers of the energy body. So I want to say, if you are new to this channel, thank you so much for taking this time to learn about how to manage your energy way more effectively. I deeply believe that if we use energy as our most valuable currency, the impacts that we can have in the world and on other people's is going to be so transformative. So if you like the idea of learning about all the different lifestyle hacks that you can do to make your energy in overflow and be used way more efficiently, then subscribe, because that's what I'm going to be sharing on this channel. So I love talking about this particular topic because it really sets a good foundation to understanding everything that we need to do in the day-to-day habits that we have to create. So there are 4 layers to the energy body, and this is not something that most people just get to hear about. And there's a deep science that explains and really brings this home when you really understand it. And if you don't understand the science behind it, it's still got a very practical way of thinking day to day that helps you to think about where are you not really using your energy efficiently, because you're not really being holistic in how you look at your life and definitely how you look at your body. So the first layer of the energy body is the physical body. Now, I'm just going to say to you that most people only work on the physical body. And that's because in the diet culture, in the health culture, in the wellness culture, we're all conditioned to just diet and exercise and that'll be okay. And anybody that is 40 or above knows that that might even work in your 20s and 30s. But bingo, when you hit 40, all of a sudden, you're going to need a lot more than just diets and exercise to really feel good about yourself. So the physical body is everything that you see. So when we think about biology of the human body, it's the muscles, it's the tissues, it's the skin, it's the things that people see when they look at you. And people are exercising predominantly to be fit and healthy and to look good. And so the exercise really focuses on the physical body. People generally are dieting to make sure that they eat well and be healthy and have more energy, but also to stay in the right size body, right? And that's just the physical body. And so what I always want to do is transcend beyond just the surface level of what really makes us look and feel good and get so much deeper. And in order to do that, we have to know that the physical body is literally just the vessel in which we hold our energy. And there is so much more about our energy and how it impacts others, how we can feel good because of our energy if we go beyond just the surface level stuff. So let's move into the second layer then. So the second layer is the emotional body. So I can't feel your frustration. I can't feel when you're angry. I can't feel necessarily the grief that you experienced in your life when you've had tragic moments, but you can feel it. And that's because it's your emotional body. Now, in your emotional body, it's the way to look at it is it's really about knowing that the science behind your emotions is really just that they are energy in motion, i.e. energy moving. And in quantum physics, we can measure your energy on a chart by frequencies. So if we go back to the really core principles of what makes us up, we're all made up of atoms. And when those atoms vibrate, they emit a frequency. And it's those frequencies that we're measuring. So every organ, every muscle, every tissue, and your emotions have frequencies. So when you look at these frequency chart, you will see that the frequency, I'm not there yet, but the highest frequency is enlightenment. But then under there, what I'm experiencing so much is joy and peace. I'm just feeling love. Love is obviously a very high frequency. And so frequency, when we measure it, is measured in hertz. And there are low frequencies. So when we feel anger, when we feel grief, if you've ever experienced grief, it's a low frequency. It feels low in your body. Energetically, you feel low. You don't feel high, right? And so these are the frequencies of our emotions. And I just want to say to you that fear is not really an emotion. Fear is almost a primal instinct. And so I put that in the job of the spleen. We talk about this a lot in human design. The spleen is always looking and processing and activating your intuition or your fear state. But when we look at that and we move away from just kind of the nervous system regulation that we have to do there, we can look at all of these emotions by frequencies. And so, of course, most of us want to be in these high frequency emotions. And is it realistic for us to be in those high frequency emotions all the time? Honestly, for the people that I work with, probably not. And definitely I'm not experiencing that all the time. But what I am experiencing is management of my emotions, because firstly, I'm aware of them. And so the ability to fluctuate from those low frequencies to the higher frequencies, if you can imagine it's like kind of bell curve or on a graph. And if you imagine those low frequencies are here and those high frequencies are there and you're going up and down, what I'm looking to do is reduce the space between those highs and lows. And so where some people are staying a lot in these low frequencies of anger and frustration all the time, I'm more in these peace and joy and love. But when I drop down into low frequencies, I completely allow myself to experience grief if I need to, anger if I need to. But I don't stay in those low frequencies as long as other people. And when I do get to those low frequencies, I know exactly what are the things that I do in my life that bring me back into those higher frequencies. So what are the things that bring me joy? I know what those are. I've cultivated those habits over time. And so I know to do and to be in those spaces or do those things so that I can move back into those higher frequencies. So hopefully you're really understanding the importance of the emotional body as part of managing your energy. So then we move into the mental body. The mental body is the third layer of the energy body. And this third layer, the mental body, is really about you knowing that maybe you are ruminating and thinking about the things that I'm saying right now, processing that information in your mind. But I can't feel that, right? I can sense it, but I can't feel it like you feel it. I can't feel that moment necessarily in your mind that you have when you piece those bits together of what I'm saying and make it like work for you in a way that you can understand it. But you get that feeling. And the mental body, you know when you are so overwhelmed that, imagine that somebody comes to you and they say, oh, can you come and help me with something that I'm working on, this project next week? And you've got this huge deadline at work and you just really feel that you can't take anything on until you do it, until that's complete. So you know what it feels like to be mentally at full capacity. When mentally you cannot take anything on. I always say with clients that I work with, imagine that your wardrobe is absolutely full. You need to take something out of it before you can start buying new clothes and put something in. If your car boot is absolutely full and you want to put in another box, something's going to have to move. Something's going to have to come out to give space to put something new. And so many of us are keeping ourselves at this mental capacity that's overloaded and still saying that we have our desires to grow our business. We have our desires to be in our relationship. We have our desires to start a second business. But there's just no way it's possible if you don't create space in the mental body. So many of us are experiencing what it feels like to have cognitive impairment. Maybe, you're perimenopausal, or maybe you're overwhelmed. Maybe you're stressed with your work. Maybe you're stressed because of a relationship and you mentally feel that overwhelm because of the stress. Maybe you feel that cognitive impairment, that you're walking up the stairs and you can't remember what you went upstairs for, right? This happens to me all the time. It's like terrible, right? Oh no, that's not me. You can't remember this person's name or this place that you go to when you go there all the time. So we know what it's like to experience issues, depression, strain in the mental body. And so the mental body needs space. We are receiving way more information in our mind than our mind was created for. So we have to use other things, like technology is bombarding us with content. Thank you for watching this content. But it is, right? You're bombarded with all this content. But yet the very same technology is what we can use to translate the content for us, right? To summarize the content for us, to store the content for when we're ready to have capacity to watch it. Like I know with my podcast, I store them. And then I have like these binges of moments where I listen to all my podcasts back to back. But if I try to listen to them as and when they're coming through, I might not be ready to receive that information. And so you want to be able to work with your mental body and know creating space is important, and always having an amount of space that's always there, so that new things that you want to come in, that you desire, that you're trying to attract into your life, they can come to you because there's always space for them to come through. And things that you're not ready to receive yet can wait until you have the mental capacity to do so. And so then we move from that into the last layer. And the last layer, in quantum physics, we call this the information field. So there's a field of energy that surrounds us. Dogs, animals, they can pick it up, but the human eye can't see it. And you know what it's like as humans. Sometimes if we don't see something, we don't believe it's real. But we don't see the air that we're breathing in every day. But we know that we're provided with oxygen. We know that we've got this H2O that is allowing us to stay alive. And so with our information field that surrounds us, I like to call this the collective field, because it's an exchange of energy that we have with the collective. When you and I are in the same room together, you will feel my energy. You've experienced it when somebody walks into a room and you're like, oh, I wonder who that person is. Oh, I want to be. Or they walk into that room and they bring that big energy with them, that joy, and you feel the presence of somebody when you walk into a room. Or somebody just comes in with a lot of presence. But equally, you may have experienced when you walk into a room and you feel the energy in the room is off. So every single one of us, being honest, wants to have a beautiful aura. We want to be magnetic. We want people to be attracted to us, the right people to be attracted to us. We all want that. But the truth is, in order to have that sort of field of energy that surrounds you, you need to make sure that you're doing the work on not just the physical body, but the mental and the emotional body as well. And that's what really creates this beautiful overflow of energy that comes out of you, that creates this magnetic field that people really want to be attracted to. And on a frequency, if you were to chime a frequency note that was different frequencies, and there was a bell here on a ball here on a wire, and let's say you were chiming two things together, if there were different frequencies, that ball on the wire wouldn't move. But if they're the same frequency and there's a ball here on a hanging wire, you would see if you chime two notes together, the same frequency, the ball would swing. What does that represent? It represents what we know in physics to be true. The frequencies at the same frequencies vibe together. They connect. They shift energy. They make things happen. And so if you're not emitting a frequency because of all of the experiences, the habits that you create, the lifestyle that you live, and you want to bring something into your life, maybe the right person, the right sorts of friends, the right type of romantic relationship, money, I believe money operates at a high frequency. You might want to something that is not where you're at right now, but is a higher desire from a higher place of where you want to be, but you're not emanating that frequency. Well, by the law of science, those frequencies are not going to vibe together. So you're not going to be you're not going to be a magnet for those things because you're not at the same frequency. And we experience it. I think of the idea of standing in a group of people that all smoke, and me just standing there and talking in conversation with them. I just couldn't do it. Does this mean that they're bad people? No. But that toxicity of the smoke, I could not keep myself in that energetic field. And so that's an example of not being able to attract me into that conversation because of the frequency that they're operating with smoking, right? It's not good or bad. It's just a frequency. It's just the law of science energetically. That just doesn't make me feel good. So I'm not magnetized towards it. And we talked about in the physical body, the mental and the emotional body, with especially the mental and the emotional body, I was saying how I can't feel your emotions. I can't feel when you're thinking. But that's not 100% true, because the truth is your field of energy does send signals. Obviously, body language does as well. But when you get that aha moment, like when I'm coaching my clients and they get that aha moment, I know they got that aha moment. I can feel, the penny just landed, right? When somebody in my life that I care about is really stressed and I meet them, I can feel that they're off, that something's not right. That's their information field. That's that collective field of energy that they're emitting. So even though I can't feel it exactly like I'm them, I can feel it in that exchange of energy that we emit. So think about when you're not living through some of the things that we talk about in the video. You know, in my energy reset recipe, my roadmap, if you've not watched the masterclass for the energy reset recipe, you must watch it. But if you're not following those 4 pillars of personalizing your nutrition, making sure that you've got a movement plan, having clarity in your purpose and attracting the right relationships into your life, taking care of your mind by doing deep inner work, not just focusing on the outside, and creating good self-care practices through a good sleep hygiene. If you're not taking care of those things that are pivotal to managing your energy, then definitely the field of energy that you emit to others, they are going to feel that it's at low vibration. It's not going to feel good to be around you. And that might mean that you're not going to be able to bring the things into your life that you deeply desire. So I hope that's been super helpful. I know that this is a video that I just feel like I had to just anchor this one for you so that we can refer back to it in all the other things that I'm sharing. And I would love to hear what you thought about the video. So leave me your comments below. Tell me what resonates. Tell me how the things that I've talked about have affected you in your life. Tell me one of the layers of the energy body that you feel that you need to prioritize the most. And if you feel that somebody else could really benefit from this video, because it's that type of video that someone needs to hear, I would love it if you would share it with them. I've said already in previous videos, if you've watched them, that, you know, I feel like one of the best ways to just really get a feel for how this works day to day, so that this energy understanding of managing your own energy isn't like just out there and too abstract, is to really subscribe to my newsletter, which you'll find in the description box, because that's where I share when I'm auditing the energy leaks in my life. I share those with you on a weekly basis. So you get to kind of anchor that into what this looks like day to day from somebody. So until the next video, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.